This is Michael Clifton from LowKick MMA. I'm sitting here speaking with one light heavyweight champion, Aung and Song. I mean, first off, I think we're only a couple of weeks out from the end of 2020, and I guess just for you personally, I mean, everyone's got a different story, but how has your year been, both personally and professionally, when you look back? Because it's just been a pretty intense year for everybody.
Yeah, what a year, huh? Crazy year. Our world's like flipped upside down, But um, well, competitively, it wasn't a good year at all for me, But besides training wise, skill set building wise, I feel like it's been a great year. Um, I had a newborn daughter. She was born in January. At the end of January, she's 10 months old now, and she's already walking. So we're very blessed.
And what about, because every country has a different story in terms of COVID and that, and obviously, what about your family back in Myanmar? Like, what's the situation like there? Because don't you hear a lot about what's going on in certain countries?
Yeah, Myanmar is on lockdown. They had the second wave. I think this is like the third wave now. As far as the lockdown goes, it's like the third time they're locking down. Um, and the numbers in Myanmar aren't that high, but still, it's they're very cautious. My whole family got it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, my whole family got it. Florida's a little bit different. We're a little bit more open than most of the states in the U.S. So,
is it quite strict to the gym at Sanford MMA? Do you have certain protocols that you're implementing to make sure everyone kind of stays safe?
Yeah, we all have a temperature check before we come in. If you have any symptoms, stay home. But most of us already got it in the summer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Did you get it?
So,
Did
yeah,
you catch it? Oh, really?
Our whole family
Oh,
got it.
your whole family in America. Oh, I thought so. I
Yeah,
mean, Myanmar. Oh,
yeah.
how
At
was
that
it?
time,
Yeah.
my daughter was 5 months old. She tested positive too.
Uh,
So,
so how was
yeah,
that for you? How was that for you as an athlete? How did that impact your year in terms of training and
I don't think it
preparation?
impacted much. Um, we had symptoms for like 2 weeks. I mean, we stayed home for 2 weeks. We had symptoms for like 3, 4 days, but
Mm,
we had mild symptoms. So from my experience, it wasn't that bad.
mm, mm, mm. So I suppose no, we'll talk about the obvious one. Like, how have you been since your last fight in Singapore? Like, I know it probably didn't go your way.
Just go back to the drawing board,
Mm.
work on things that I need to work on, um, and it'll be better. Like it's not so good to dwell in your losses, but that one hurt for sure. I couldn't sleep, but it is what it is. I came to fight. He came to do jujitsu. So
Mm,
it's
mm.
what it is.
I guess the immediate question would be, what would you like to do going forward in the next? Would you like to go straight after your middleweight title again? Would you like to take some time off, maybe compete in the light heavyweight division? What's
Uh,
your preference?
I'm gonna take my belt back,
Hmm.
and then I'm gonna defend my light heavyweight belt. So, but if I have to knock out some contenders, line them up. I don't care.
Mm-mm-mm. Have you had any conversations with One Championship about your path forward for the next 6 months or
Yeah,
so?
I said I'm ready. I've been ready. I wanted to be on this weekend show,
Mm.
December 18th show, but they couldn't put me on. And I'm open for whenever they're ready.
So fans can probably expect to see you back in the one circle sooner rather than later, you would expect?
Yeah, 100%.
Mm.
I'm healthy. I'm ready to go. Uh, didn't take any damage last fight. So it is what it is.
I mean, was that particularly frustrating, or in some ways was it like, I made a few mistakes. If I get back in there again, it will be different. How did you feel like kind of, when you once the initial kind of disappointment worn off and you kind of analyzed the fight a bit? Was there anything in particular like, yes, I can see exactly what happened
Yeah,
there?
for sure. I neglected certain part of the game. It's called mixed martial arts for a reason. Because I neglected my jujitsu side a little bit, but I'm making steps to make sure that it doesn't happen again.
Mm-mm.
You learn from your mistakes, and I really learned a lot from this mistake. Yeah.
And how has it been back in the gym? How's training going at the moment? What, who have you been working with? Who have you been sparring with? What's the what are you working on at the moment?
Good. I've got a great middleweight, training partners, um, and I got a lot of great heavyweight as well, and light heavyweight as well, and some great welterweights from all other promotions like the UFC, Bellator. So it's nice. Training's been going great. Training's the room is filled with killers, in our gym, and training's great. Just want to get back in there.
Does it make I guess your job more exciting when you're surrounded by high level fighters? Going in there and testing yourself constantly against people from different organizations, people that may be different weight classes. Is that quite something that you enjoy about the job?
For sure. It's for me, like, I take it as a learning experience. When I train with other, like, athletes from other promotions, it's exciting for me. It's something that wakes me up and makes me want to do my job. So it's great.
People talk about cross-promotional fights these days, and that's something. Are there any other athletes out there that you would like to just in a kind of a fancy matchup world you'd like to test your skills against, or is all your focus completely on the one championship middleweight belt?
It doesn't matter, man. I train and spar with all these guys from other promotions. I know where I stand. I just want to put on great shows for the fan. And one championship is my home. If they do cross promotion, let's do it. I'm down. Anyone, anytime, it doesn't matter.
How is it? Obviously, you do train with fighters from different promotions. You've seen. Yes, all right. You do train with fighters. You've seen like Bellator, UFC. So you've seen how their promotions have I guess handled the pandemic and have had one championships response. They've been a little bit. It's been hard for them being in Singapore. How has it been as a fighter being in the States, kind of being further away from Singapore, just keeping the communication with one championship? What's that been like for you, just as I guess, as someone who fights under the one banner, and that I guess every organization is different, but how have you found the experience this year?
Yeah, I mean, as far as because of the pandemic, UFC has been the front runner of the other promotions. But I think one championship is gonna put on a lot of shows in 2021. And it's fine, it's the fans should be watching out for that. Well, I really wanted to fight, 3 or 4 times this year. That didn't pan out. For me, winning, losing is not that important. For me, it's progressing and becoming a better version of myself. That's the most important thing. So in that sense, it was frustrating, but in the sense of, training, I know from my last fight, it doesn't show. Like, I know from my last fight, it doesn't show, but I feel like I made a lot of improvements, in my game, and became a better version of myself. But it is what it is. Bring on next year. We'll be putting on a lot of shows.
It's been a couple of years now since you fought, back in Myanmar. There was a period there where you were fighting almost seemed like every month or so in Myanmar, and then you had a bit of a break. You fought in Japan. Myanmar's a different experience for you. Do you miss it? Have you missed being able to be there and be part of that that atmosphere that only you really can create when you're fighting there?
Yeah, I do miss it, and I would love to fight in front of the fans. Maybe we can do one in a big soccer stadium. That would be ideal. But I know Myanmar, they were renovating the stadium, which really needs to be renovated. So, but it's a different atmosphere. 100% it's a different atmosphere. If you've been to that show, there's a lot of there's a lot of fight fans. Fight fans in Myanmar are different. They're respectful towards all athletes, but fight fans are insane in Myanmar. You know, they really love the sports. They just love combat sports. You know, be it boxing, kickboxing, lead weight, you know, Muay Thai, whatever it is. They love combat sports. It's in our blood. You know,
Mm, mm. Is what's it like? I've always wondered, you know, when you fight in Myanmar compared to when you fight in Japan. You know, you're a big star, but when you're in Myanmar, it is different. You know, the
yeah.
expectations, the pressure. Is that something you feed off, or is it something? Do you have to mentally prepare yourself when you touch down?
Uh,
You're like, okay, this is going to be an
yeah.
intense kind of week.
No, I have to mentally prepare myself because I'm pretty like introverted and I don't like to be, you know, I like to be by myself or with my friends and family. It's kind of intense. Like, as soon as I land, you know, you have a group of people waiting. If I go to any restaurant, you know, you have people coming up to me. When I fight, the security wants to take a selfie with me.
Yeah.
It's insane. So for me, like, there's more pressure there, but I have to mentally prepare myself, and I have to make sure I'm sharp, and I have to make sure I'm on point.
Mm. It's a very unique situation in some ways. You live in the States, you can go about your daily business, but then you touch down back when you're in the country you're born, and it's just like, you know, everything goes to 100 straight away.
Yep, 100%. Yeah,
Mm.
it's like it's like no other. You know, like almost reminds me of the movie Inception. You know, like the movie Inception. You sleep in the plane, you wake up, it's a different world. You know?
Do you have to decompress when you come back from the States from Myanmar? Do you like take time off just to relax and that? Do you kind of have to mentally kind of unwind
No,
from, or you okay?
I don't need to. The gym is it's like my sanctuary. You know, the gym is where I feel most at home and alive. So I don't have to. The gym gives me a lot of peace.
Because you won your first bout in 2017. I'm just wondering, have you noticed a change in MMA in Myanmar itself since you've won the title? I know you haven't been back for a little while, but in terms of the number of young fighters coming through, the interest, how have you seen the sport develop in your home country since you
It's
claimed?
developing. You know, it's developing. There's people that do jujitsu now. The people that are interested in MMA, in kickboxing and lead weight. You know, so it's nice. You know. As far as the progression goes, it's still slow. It's still, you know, it's still gonna take a while. Um, I do sponsor a few kids that are training lead weight, and eventually they're gonna transition into MMA. Um, and also this coming year, we're building a gym, an
Mm-hmm.
MMA gym under Python MMA, and that's gonna be big. That's gonna help grow the next generation of MMA fighters in Myanmar.
Will you be involved quite closely with that?
100%, I'll be involved. Yeah.
Is that something you'd like to see yourself like continuing down the track, maybe 10 years from now? Do you see yourself maybe kind of transitioning out of, you know, fighting and being more involved in training, coaching, or being an ambassador for the sport? How do you see the next maybe kind of development of your career?
Like, I think my calling is in Myanmar with the next generation of athletes. Um, and so, like, when I'm done fighting in a few years, I see dedicating my whole life into mixed martial arts and um, doing something for the next generation of young fighters.
Do you think there's a lot of talent in Myanmar that is kind of just waiting for the opportunity to kind of have that, you know, that exposure, that training? And do you think if it is given there, do you think we could see, you know, future champions coming out of Myanmar?
100%. You know, combat sports is in our blood. You know, Muay Thai came from Myanmar. You know, Muay Thai came from a Thai prisoner in Myanmar, um, and Lewe is a sport and it's in our blood. You know, it's what we do. I have no doubt, you know, that there's going to be a lot of young talents, and I can't wait to work with them.
Did you ever train in Lithway? Did you have any much experience fighting under Lithway rules?
Not in a professional setting. There aren't that many, you know, professional gyms back in the days. like lead weight wasn't monetized like, you know, the Muay Thai is. You know, in Australia, I'm sure there's a lot of Muay Thai gyms. You know, lead weight wasn't done like that.
Mm,
Kids aren't encouraged to do lead weight. You know, in fact, only people that are uneducated, people that have no money, fights lead weight. You know, so
mm.
it had a bad like bad reputation. You know, so I want to kind of change that as well.
Mm, mm, mm. How do you see yourself doing that? Is it just your presentation is just bringing a professionalism to the sport? Is it just
Yeah,
introducing, showing people that you can make careers out of being a combat sport athlete?
yeah. Just package it in a way that it's martial arts. It's testing your body to the limit. You know, pushing your limits,
Mm,
having discipline. You know, package it in a way that um, people just don't see the violence part of it, but they actually see the hard work that's put into it. And you know, like it's a healthy lifestyle in my opinion as well.
mm. Does I guess getting back to one championship now and that I suppose one question that I've always been curious: would you like to do the trilogy with Big Dash? Would you be happy to do that next? Would that be something that you see in the near horizon?
Listen, I've been asking for that match. You know, it was supposed to happen in April.
Mm,
It didn't pan out. Uh, I would love to. You know, I would love to, but it's not up to me. You know, if I could, I would get that. I would get Leandro Ataides, and then I would go after this guy again.
mm,
But
mm, mm.
whatever they decide, you know, I'm down. And it could be like another fighter from another organization. It doesn't matter. I just want to, you know, compete.
Mm. So what's are you taking any time off over this Christmas break, or are you going to be just training pretty much through getting your body ready for 2021?
We don't take breaks. This is a full time job. You know,
Mm,
uh, I'll be ready. You know, when they call me, I'll be ready. And I have a feeling it's gonna be either February or March.
mm, mm. And hopefully fans will be back in the audience, in mass numbers.
Yeah.
Then it is slow. What was it like fighting without that kind of the crowd roar and the crowd pop? I know there are a few people there, but not the numbers you're probably used to.
No, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. I felt very aware. I felt really, you know, in the moment. But I didn't pull the trigger right, or something was a little off during the whole time. But I'm not gonna blame nobody.
Mm.
I just gotta fix, you know, uh, my training camp a little bit, and especially if I have to, if I get a chance against Rene again, you know, we got some things that we need to tweak.
Is that, I know a loss is never good, but is that part of the process that you do type of enjoy, I guess, is like working on it, figuring these mental things out, kind of going back,
Yeah,
kind of, analyzing and then going to the gym, working on it and then, implementing it next time. Is that something that you actually find quite fun?
yeah, for sure. You know, as painful as it is to lose, it's actually fun to, you know, um, to kind of analyze, to kind of regroup, and then to put yourself into the next level. You know, after my big dash loss, you know, I had to regroup, I had to reconsider, and I had to reevaluate, and I had to redo my, redo my camp. So
Mm. So does it feel like you're going into 2021 with a different hunger than you came to 2020?
for sure, man, like it's different now. Uh, I'm not the champion in the middleweight now, you know, so it kind of pisses me off, but at the same time, it's motivating.
I'll let you get going now and then. I got a family and everything, but thanks for making the time, and we really look forward
Sure,
to seeing you back in the one circle. Obviously, sooner rather than later, and hopefully, fingers
for
crossed, it's
sure.
going to be February.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be in a few months. So I mean, a few weeks. So I stay ready, and I'll put on a show for sure for all the fans. Thank you for the call. Thank you for waiting up on me, and talk to you soon.